Hi there. It's September 24th, and we're continuing a voyage through Paul's letter to the Ephesians, and we're in chapter 3, reading a whole chapter from verses 1 to 21. So, having described this amazing plan of God to redeem the whole world through Messiah Jesus in him, Paul now puts himself a little bit into perspective in the context of what God is doing and what God has called him personally to be involved in. So he describes himself, first of all, as the prisoner of the Lord. Now, either that's he's been made prisoner because he's been imprisoned because of his following Jesus. It could also mean, however, that he's the prisoner. He's captive to this call that God has put on his life. And this call is to make known a secret. It's to reveal a secret. Now, here's something interesting. Paul is talking in a context where there are already those around who were beginning to major on something called gnosis. In Greek that means knowledge, a secret knowledge, something that you had to know passwords to get into, a knowledge that set you above others, a knowledge that meant that you had secret access into God's presence. And Paul was already coming across those who were beginning to make this appear that this was God's story through Jesus, that somehow he was a secret key. But Paul is trying to say here, no, this is an open secret. I am making this secret open, and this is the mystery. This is the secret that I am revealing, that God has called me, Paul, as part of his plan to make known to the nations beyond Israel, the good news of rescue through Messiah Jesus, and that the Gentiles, the non-Jews, should inherit, should become part with Israel of the promises of God. That's why he's getting so excited, that this has all been revealed previously, it's been revealed in previous generations, and now he is involved in the unfolding. He's been appointed to serve this good news. He's been appointed to tell everyone about God's free grace, about God's covenant bonded grace, his hesed available to us in Messiah Jesus. He says, although I am nobody, I'm actually the least of the people who should be talking about this. After all, I persecuted the church, but actually God has given me the opportunity to make known, to make open this secret, to tell everybody that God's wisdom is to make known through his people, both Jew and Gentile, through his assembly, through his ecclesia, through his called out people, through his gathering. It's to make known to the whole world his plan of salvation. And it's to make it known as well, Paul says, to the rulers and authorities, those on earth and also those in heavenly places. The church is going to be the theatre, is going to be the demonstration, the tool of God's bringing this about. And towards the end of the chapter, there's this great praise that Paul raises at this point, and you can almost see him wondering in amazement at what God has done. He says, because of this, I kneel before the Father, from whom everyone derives their name, from whom every family is named. And my prayer is that he will give you the riches of his glory, and through his Spirit in the inner being, that the King may make his home in your hearts. He's knowing that this amazing gift he's been given, this open secret he now shares, brings everybody into this place of closeness, this place of connection with God. And it's not an individual thing, it's not just a me alone, but actually he says so that with everybody that God has called, with all the saints, you may be able to grab hold of what is the depth and the height and the breadth and the length of the love of God. Even though perhaps it's incomprehensible, it's so deep actually no one can get hold of it, it's indescribable. But this is his prayer, and he commits them to the one who is able to do far more than we can ever ask or think. And finishes in this last verse with this beautiful glory, this doxology. To him be glory in the church through all generations, and in Jesus through all the ages. Amen. It's a wonderful summing up of what Paul is trying to say, and he's going to go on in the next part to talk about practical things, to unpack the practical things. But it's a fantastic demonstration of the wisdom of God, that God has made known this mystery, that he wants all people, Jew and non-Jew, made one in Christ Jesus, to experience his glory and to be a demonstration to the world of just how powerful God is and how great his love is. How we rejoice in this today, that this is what God is still doing through his people, Jew, Gentile, whatever we are, through Messiah Jesus, he's called us to demonstrate, to make known this secret that has been covered up for so long, that is now in Jesus made obvious, made open. Have a very good September 24th.